I my first semester, so there's a lot of things to get back into it because I graduated from Rutgers 8 years ago.
Oh yeah.
With my master's degree there.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to go back to school
Yeah.
after being a real person for
Yes.
I did the same thing with tutorial school.
Okay.
I want it. Apply
Yes,
school.
we did.
And I actually did apply to UTC because I heard
It is.
you use a certain level of people who are really studying.
Right.
So I was like, I just like I'm a burnout. I want to go to school and work and
Yeah.
I don't want to like take see this people first and be taller and all the things that I wanted to do. So I ended up at UTS
Okay.
and did my time there.
D.
And went to the reform team anyway.
So what do you mean?
But yeah, it's, I was looking, I was like, hey, I don't know anything, I just know I'm a singer, I can sing, and I'm religious, but that's it. I didn't know, so it just much, much more easy with my friends standard. They were like, because first of all, they didn't care about the singing, so they did a lot of it for the first year.
Yeah.
So they started letting off later. And they were like, I don't know what it was, they just, it was just recruiting, they needed people. And so they were like, whatever you know what to do.
And the sustainability software.
Yeah.
That says everybody knows.
Is it still the case now where you have to piano instrument? Yeah. Has it changed at all or?
No, but they have like guitar classes and music stuff. I still think that they would have required one to know how to because I see. Gearing up.
Yeah, my sister was a northeast physical trainer. She was but she teaches in San Diego.
I know. Where is he? I didn't get a text message or anything.
No, it's just
It's in there. Usually is in here. They'll go to the same spot. It's not my responsibility because I don't use this one right now. Pizzas and masks and ornaments with stuff. Immediately apparent where the thing is. You know, it's not there. He was the last one to use it.
No, that's. That's not tonight's.
No, we know, but we couldn't locate.
It's in my pocket. Sorry, it's in my pocket.
Because you were sitting over there last night. I was like, I bet you slipped it this Kabbalah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying. It is one of those
We did
nights.
as much as we could without you here.
No, you're the best. You're the best. Sorry about that. B. Oh, I brought more batteries. Wait. Yeah, but we're getting these lithium batteries now, so that these are supposed to last like 3 times. I feel the same regular. It may be irregular, but we'll see. Oh, look at that. It's It's better if you don't.
Run down and get them for
No, I already.
I should have just printed them myself.
See, and this. Why is this button not working?
It's like stuck, right?
It's stuck,
I got it
right?
working just a second ago. I just have to press it a little bit more
There.
determinedly.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was a new development or if you knew about that.
It's been an ongoing development. Hang on. Okay. This is going here. That's going there. That's it. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Sorry, everyone. I know we're running a few minutes behind tonight. I actually pit stopped to talk with the FDNY folk at the corner.
Are they still working on that?
Yeah, they're still working.
Jeez.
Yeah.
'Cause I was hearing
A
sirens.
relief crew has come on in
I was hearing sirens like just 2 hours ago.
since 6 this morning. Betty, would you like to light candles tonight? I'll call on you when it's time. Thank you. Let's see. Whenever you guys are.
Okay.
Yeah. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
So we are gathered here in the brightness and warmth of the sanctuary, gathered in person or on the live stream, and about to begin Shabbat Eve worship. And having just walked from my home, all of 2 blocks across Montague to get here to Brooklyn Heights Synagogue, past our construction right next door, there's really no doubt that there are different modalities, different approaches to what does it mean to come together and worship together as a community on Shabbat, right? Shabbat is a foretaste of messianic times according to tradition. Synagogues are supposed to have windows. We have the skylight that lets in the outside world. So on the one hand, Shabbat worship especially looks forward to a time of greater perfection, greater peace, greater wholeness. But Shabbat is never a denial of the world we live in. Somehow we find a balance between the two, between the world that we use Shabbat as an opportunity to envision, to affirm, to work toward, to buoy our spirits in the belief that we can achieve, if not individually, then collectively, if not this moment in the future, the world to come. But it's also not a day of denying the reality of where we are and what we live in. We have to find a balance between those two things. And that's what we're asked to do. Shabbat would be very simple if we could deny everything around us and just live in the fantasy of what might be. There are songs that do that. But that's not who we are as a people. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor ve'lo ata ben chorin lehi batel mimena. As Rabbi Tarfon taught, it's not upon us to achieve that final task, but we're not free to desist from it, even on Shabbat. And so we gather in the midst of pandemic, in the midst of, I was just talking with this battalion chief down the block, really one of, see that whole building, that structure, which is now questionable. 4 of the members of the FDNY mildly injured. We'll pray for them. I don't have names yet. We have to find a balance, right, between the two. To come together, to find the joy, the support, the strengthening that comes from being in our congregational community at this point where we know that it is okay to be together. It is not so easy to be a member of the Jewish community, to have that perspective of what can be, to recognize what is, to look back to what's been. Shabbat is that moment of intersection where all of those things happen, and yet it is also a moment of rejoicing. It is not a time of dour breastfeeding. It is a time to live with hope, even in the midst of affirming realities. So I want to celebrate seeing you all here in the sanctuary. Some of you who have been coming for a little while, and some of whom I think this is the first time you've been in the sanctuary. Maybe you've said Shehechianu to yourself. But in tradition, we say Mechaye Metim when we see someone we haven't seen for 30 days. God who restores those who have disappeared from us. So we are gathered, and I know that the cantor and Miriam and myself, there have been many an occasion when it's just been sometimes the 3 of us, and other occasions where it's been less than a minion. And I do want to announce that it is our plan as we move into 2022 that we are going to switch from the live stream, which will still be available, to a Zoom interactive on Friday nights. Now, that's not to tell people you should stay at home. As you start to feel comfortable, you on your terms, God willing, we're going to have a little setup over in that corner under the computer where we are going to have we're going to have a tech who's going to be managing the Zoom. And there are a number of people who've reached out to me and said they really love the Zoom and they're not such a fan of the live stream because it's one direction. So I want people who are watching, who may feel a little bit of that, to hear that we've heard you. And we know that you want to be more present. We're also setting up the library for Chavurah's Zoom room so we can see your faces even if you're not able to join us in the library. Starting in January, we're going to be facilitating once again in the library. Anyone who wants to come to Chavurah on Shabbat morning will be welcome to come Saturday morning to the Chavurah in the library. There'll be a hybrid setup so that you can be present physically, or if you just want to be present on the screen from the safety of your home. Either way, we are taking steps forward in the midst of the complexity of this ongoing pandemic. So I am thankful for those who have come on out tonight and feel within their own judgment that this is a place that, right, we can spread out in the sanctuary. We're not that crowded. So it's really, I know I'm taking up time in the service, but I have to say some of these things communally, that worship isn't just about the words, it's about the community and about the gathering, and I am grateful. We're told we shouldn't thank people for fulfilling mitzvot, but I'm going to thank you for fulfilling mitzvot, and for those of you who have come through the magic of the live stream and will come through the Zoom, and those who've come under the power of their own feet. Thank you for being present in whichever way you feel most able and safe. So with that in mind, I'm going to call on Betty Birnbaum to come on up. We are on page 2 in the prayer book, or right up on the screen as we kindle Sabbath lights, the last creative endeavor of our work week. Go for the whole thing. Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. And we are going to turn to our regular reading on page 9, up on the wall as well, as we read responsively. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat together, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. You'll find the words of L'chu Neranana, the first of the Psalms of Kabbalah, Shabbat, on page 12, or right up on the screen.
L'chu Neranana
Psalm 96, the words toward the bottom of page 13, Yismechu Hashamayim.
Yismechu Hashamayim V'tagel haaretz Yismechu Hashamayim V'tagel haaretz ותגל תגל הארץ, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל תגל הארץ.
Pages 20 and 21. Shabbat not merely envisioned as sacred time, but sacred personage, beloved, friend, lover, bride, queen, king, groom, whatever the metaphor, whatever the embrace, we wish the one who we await the return each and every week. As we turn to Lecha Dodi, finally on the last stanza, when we reach it, at that time we'll rise, face the entryway, and invite Shabbat to join us. Lecha Dodi, page 20.
היה לה 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 לחדדי, יא די די, היה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יא לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה, היה לה 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 לחדדי, יא די די, היה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יא לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה, שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, ישמענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. איי 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 לה 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 לחדדי, איי 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 לה 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 לקראת כלה, איי איי לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. איי ליי ליי לה 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 לחדדי, איי ליי ליי איי לה 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 לקראת כלה, איי ליי לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שידברים כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה.
Stanza facing the entry.
בואי ושלום, עצרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה,
it is really a pleasure to return to our custom of inviting people to take this moment after Lecha Dodi to first wish Shabbat Shalom to those you've arrived with, but then take a moment to introduce yourself to other people standing someplace near you and wish Shabbat Shalom. Yeah. So just a couple of words. One is, of course, I say this, but the Israelites took 40 years to make it on a 12-day hike because all they did was kibbutz. But the other thing I want to make mention, this won't make sense to those on the live stream. I know there's a little bit of a smell of gas, and there's no gas in the building. The kitchen gas line is turned off. So I am fairly confident that what we're smelling, we've just shut the air circulation off because I think it's being pulled in from outside, and probably some of those chemicals being used for the fire down the street. At any rate, we have someone downstairs just double checking. But at the moment, at least, we're going to proceed forward because we are fairly confident that it's just an odor, and hopefully the turning off of the fans will help with that dissipating, okay? If we learn anything different, I promise we'll share with you right away. No, at this point, I'm not. You know what? We've got electronics going. We got other things going. So, extinguishing the candles would be. But when we've got very hot projectors going as well, so unless we want to be Karaites and sit in the dark, which is not. We are rabbinic Jews, if somewhat selective in our choosing. So I'm just going to move us forward. We celebrate with the words of the psalm that celebrates Shabbat, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. This is, I think, an old chestnut of a melody we haven't done in a while by, I guess we've redeemed Shlomo Karlebach sufficiently to return his melodies to the shul.
Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir yom HaShabbat. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir yom HaShabbat. Ay, mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir yom HaShabbat. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir yom HaShabbat. Shabbat, mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir yom HaShabbat. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir yom HaShabbat.
Actually learned that song as a kid. We sing, "The whole world is waiting to sing a song of Shabbat. I am also waiting to sing a song of Shabbat."
We'll do it.
Yeah. Okay. I invite those who are able, in body and or spirit, to rise. Page 26, Reader's Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועל מה דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עלמי עלמיה יתברך וישבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה
בריחו
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא וימרו
Amen. Call to worship, page 28. Everyone. We join together, top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Page 32, Ahavat Olam.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עם אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו באורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו.
אוהב עמו ישראל שמו ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד
Page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot together, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. The words of passing through the sea, Michamocha, page 40.
מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נפלת, מלכותך ראו בניך, בקיים לפני משה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בקיים לפני מרים, זיזילי, אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם, לעולם ועד. אלום יד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Of Hashkivenu, as we lie down at night. You'll find the Hebrew on 42 and Dan Nichols' English words right up on the wall.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Shalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim, lechaim, lechaim.
You'll find the words of the Chatima, the bottom of the page or the next screen.
Baruch atah Adonai hapore sukkot shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo, ve'al Yerushalayim shalom, ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo, ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai hapore sukkot shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Page 44, the bottom of the page, Yismechu.
ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטבעך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. רצית בו וקידשתו שבת, חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. למעשה בראשית. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת.
Having celebrated Shabbat's arrival, we rise for tefillah, for the standing prayers, as we put the longings of our hearts before the divine throne. Page 46, or right up on the screen.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Kanei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה
אדוני,
מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית
ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע
ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
I invite, if you'd like to have a seat at this time, if it's your custom, to please do so. If it's your custom to remain standing to the end of Tefillah, you're welcome to do that. We join together at the top of page 55 or right up on the wall. Together, may these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Page 57, together, ever-present one. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, shotecha levadecha, b'yirah na'avod. Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And finally, page 60, as we join with the cantor in the singing of the prayer for peace, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki hatah hu melech melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki hatah Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch hu Baruch Shemo.
I invite you to have a seat at this time. The sages allocated to these moments our opportunity for silent prayer, reflection, meditation. Of course, they scripted an intro to even that. On page 62, you can find the traditional beginning of that period, or on 63, some contemporary settings, or up on our wall, we have a blank screen to encourage the words of your own heart.
You צום רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי
Somehow it is the second Shabbat in December. I don't know how that happened. Second Shabbat of the month means that it is an opportunity to celebrate simchas, smachot in the Hebrew plural. And I have no idea if we're getting simcha letters out or not. There are many things that I'm just grateful the lights are on and the electricity is running. The phones were out today because of the fire. We've had literally the cantor and I are kind of thinking, do you think the smoke detectors are going to go off? We've had the smoke detectors going off. So, we take what we can get. So if you received a letter inviting you to celebrate a simcha in the month of December, thank God. And if you didn't get a letter, and you are celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, a promotion, entry into college, you won the lottery and you're willing to tell us about it, any of those things, this would be an opportunity to buoy people's spirits and share. So I'm going to start off. Hi, I'm Serge, and I am celebrating a birthday next week in the month of December. It's not a big one, but it's nevertheless closer to 60 than 50, and it's exciting. I also want to say that institutionally we have a celebration. Just this past Tuesday, Alana Ayalon joined our staff as our new Director of Membership, Engagement, and Programming. So even though Alana can't be with us here tonight, hopefully you all saw the email that went out along with this week's announcements. There was a picture and a welcoming of Alana. If you missed that, please go back, take it out of your trash or your spam folder or wherever it might be living, and get a chance. Yeah, and there it is in the printed edition of the weekly notes. So welcome to Alana. We're so excited to have you on board. Is there anyone else celebrating something in the month of December, or if you missed your chance to share good news with the community in a previous month, you're welcome to do that as well. Well, I'll celebrate.
Dad cares.
Alex was admitted to college.
Woo!
To Northeastern University, and we are very, very proud of him. So mazel tov, Alex. Nancy.
Well, our daughter Violet is going to be turning 20 in the month of December.
No, that's not possible. No, it's not possible. She's 12. Mazel tov. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Any other? Please, Barbara.
Okay, my son on December 7th achieved 65.
Mazel tov. Now, how did that happen when you're so much younger? It's just like those Bible stories. It's amazing. Bruce?
On December 4th, our younger daughter, Rachel, was 36.
Oh, Mazel tov. That's a good Jewish number, too. Double chai.
If we go back to last month, our older granddaughter on November 12th was 5.
Wow. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Congratulations. Anyone else with good news to celebrate in the month of December? Okay. We're going to recite the benediction that marks these occasions of the year, Shechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu lazman hazeh. We give thanks to you, eternal our gods. Oh, Anita. Yes.
In November, we had the birth of our second, our first grandniece.
Mazel tov. Is there a name? Beautiful, beautiful. Congratulations. So let's do that blessing again. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu bazman hazeh. We give thanks to you, eternal our God, sovereign over time and space, for granting us the gift of life, sustaining us in life, and bringing us to these joyous moments. Amen.
Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Yeheilanu, 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 Olechol Yisrael, Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Olechol Yisrael.
A good sign, a lucky sign for us, all Israel, indeed for all the world. So mazel to all those who've shared, and everyone who was keeping it to themselves, mazel tov as well. Those on the live stream, whatever we missed, a mazel tov as well. Some weeks I offer a formal drasha. Some weeks we study together, and this week I am offering a very brief iyun. What is the difference between an iyun and a drasha? Focus and length. So an iyun focuses on a very, 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 very tiny element, whereas drashot, my sermons, typically focus on a much larger topic. So brief, but I hope focused, and something to think about in the coming Shabbat and the coming week. In chapter 45 of Genesis, as we read in this week's Torah portion, a single sentence, just a single sentence and then one word. Joseph could no longer restrain himself. He cried out, "Have everyone withdraw from me." So there was no one else present when Joseph made himself known to his brothers. Behit vada Yosef el echav. Behit vada. That is translated into those three words. One Hebrew word, three English words. Behit vada, made himself known. Hit vadaut, to make oneself known. Or even in the sense in Leviticus, to confess oneself, which is based on the PL word we use, vidui, that you know from Yom Kippur, confessional, which is built on that root, yada, to know and to make known, yud, dalid, ayin. In modern Hebrew, hit vadaut is the term we use to introduce oneself. When parents say, "Why don't you introduce yourself to your," right? That's right, lihit vadea, okay, to make oneself known, to introduce oneself. But it is also, interestingly, the verb that's used for coming out, for introducing one's inner identity, one's sexuality. For Hebrew speakers, you can also hear it, hit vadaut, as the flip side of a different verb, hitabdut. Hitabdut, suicide, but literally to lose oneself, to deny oneself, to not come out, to not make oneself known. Joseph's revelation of self, Behit vada Yosef elechav, wasn't merely an unmasking of himself in his pharaonic role play. All picture that scene, right? The truth is that Joseph, in all his great complexity and interior life, had always been masked, costumed, perhaps in denial of self, or simply hidden, perhaps even mostly from himself. The coat of many colors, better translated the striped tunic, was perhaps but his father Jacob's acknowledgement of Joseph's estrangement from his own family, his hidden identity. Here in this week's Parsha, at this moment, Joseph, through his suffering and maturation, his re-encounter with his origins, recognizes and comes to understand his self, to finally become comfortable in his own skin. He has become self-aware, hitvada, self-aware enough to be capable of revealing his inner self, finally, to his brothers, to his family, but mostly to himself. Although the plot necessitates the dismissal of all the servants, right? If you go back, actually, if you look, we're in this, Egyptian court scene. Joseph can no longer restrain himself, and he clears the palace courtroom. Have everyone withdraw from me, so that no one else, no man was present when Joseph made himself known to his brothers. The plot does necessitate the dismissal of the servants, but the language of the Hebrew almost implies, if you were listening, that even the brothers themselves were dismissed before Joseph is finally capable of honestly revealing his self to himself. Imagine, he sees his brothers and he can no longer restrain himself. He clears the room, and in that moment recognizes who he truly is. Here, I think, the Torah offers a deepest truth, that most of us spend a lifetime dressed in various costumes, our tunics, our coats of many colors, and that throughout a lifetime of seeking and searching, and perhaps even discovering, there comes that moment, the hitvada, that our self makes itself known, that the revelation of our truest identity must begin with the self seeing the self, an end to denial, an end to submerging who we truly are, that must come before self can possibly be revealed to even those dearest to us. Hitvadaut, making oneself, one's soul known, is a journey of self-discovery, of self-revelation, indeed of self-confession, the journey of a lifetime. Shabbat Shalom. As always, whether in a yun or a drasha, I invite your responses, criticism, critiques. Please do send me an email or grab my ear. If you send me the email, do it after Shabbat, otherwise it gets stuck under all the garbage gets in the email box. It's amazing what ends up in there, so wait till Sunday, okay? We are going to offer our prayers for those in need of blessing and or healing. You can find the text that we'll be using in the back, pasted into the back of the prayer booklet, also up on the screen. This is Cantor Lisa Levine's setting of the Refuah prayer, the Misha Berach. And on this evening, let me find our list. We call to mind and pray for healing, blessing for Lori Blum, Chaya Malka Bat Chaya, Gloria Sancho, Jenny St. George, Chava Gittel Bat Freda, Yona Chaya Bat Miriam, Ruth Bat Binyamin V'Chava, Steve Brown Inns, Yona Tevya Ben Label V'Gita Henya, Renee Fishzone, Moshe Ben Leah, Nancy Lazar, Delroy Aline, Max Estroff, Richard Salter, Chaika Bat Freda, Chaim, Kim Petchek, Peggy Einhorn, Bruce Shapiro-Nygren, Eleanor Shapiro-Nygren, Helene Furman Gold, Bela Rivka Bat Shmuel Pesach Esther, Sid, Susan Sonkin, David, Stephen Cohen, Peter Hort, Donald Pearlstein, Ken Kalman Cohen, Christy Frank, Sally Sorbello, and Nick Boyer. If you would like to add a name for healing and blessing,
Rivka Bat Sarah Amenu.
Katie Ryan.
מי שברך אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב. מי שברך אמותינו, שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well.
Amen. We also call to mind and pray especially for the recovery of those 4 members of the FDNY. Again, my understanding from the battalion chief is there was a moderate injury, but we pray for their recuperation. We pray for all those who were out there today in the cold and the wet, battling the fire just down the block. We also offer our prayers up for those who've been displaced from their homes in this month where many people are celebrating, and we don't quite know the situation there, but I've reached out to our friends at Our Lady of Lebanon, as well as St. Anne and the Holy Trinity, so that we can try to help and share in making sure that those people have what they need at this season of this year. So as we learn more, we will share more with our community so we can help out all those people who've been displaced by the fire. We turn our thoughts to our nation and to the state of Israel, page 258, 259, right up on the screen. If we join together, our guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country sound in body and spirit. We say amen. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love and spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Grant them deliverance and adorn them in a mantle of victory. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. We say amen.
Amen.
Ken yehi ratzon. I'm going to invite you now to turn to page 283 or right up on the screen as we rise for our concluding prayers. Page 283, Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגורי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אף זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who are gathered with us through the blessing of memory. We recall these recent passings in Shloshim in the past 30 days in our community, and the passing of Jerome Smith, recalled by Amy Leesman, the passing of Ruth Gutman, the sister of Hank Gutman, and the passing of our member Bill Gutman, the father of Hank Gutman. Both Bill and Ruth's ashes will be interred at the family plot in Philadelphia. We'll have more notice about that when that comes about. We also recall the passing of Joseph Bayo, the uncle of Katie Ryan, our director of religious school, and the passing of Maria Luisa Lugo Regau, friend of Robin Slade. And finally, I am incredibly sad to share the tragic passing of Gabriel Rissman, our member, my bar mitzvah boy, untimely and tragically at the age of 21, the son of Stephen and Elisa Rissman, and the brother of Ariel and Bella. We will be holding the memorial service here in the sanctuary on Sunday at 12:30 for Gabe. And then we will be going out to New Jersey for burial. There will be a notice that will go out some point tomorrow with more details about that passing. We also call to mind the yard site, the passing at this season of Rose Laub, recalled by Scott Chesson, Ira Moraes, recalled by Betsy Moraes, Michael Latman, recalled by Haley Geffman Gold, Steven Steinberg, recalled by Cecile Hanft, Alan Wallen, recalled by Joyce Raskin, Iris Rita Brown, recalled by Ross Brown, Fanny Price, recalled by Ellen Kessler-Lax, Ray Brinkman, recalled by Karen Brinkman, Alexander Marcus, recalled by Yigal Rechtman, Beverly Bernice Perlman, recalled by Deborah Perlman, Oscar Vogel, recalled by Bob Vogel, Isidore Guterman, recalled by Steve Guterman and the entire congregational community, Sheila Feller, recalled by Andrea Feller, Matilda Bloom, recalled by Matthew Bloom, Arthur Arkey, recalled by David Arkey, Liba Rossler, recalled by the congregational community, Marvin Sherman, recalled by Jack Sherman, Sheila Fetterman, recalled by Philip Greenberg, Miriam Cohn-Sirkin, recalled by Amy Lenklos, Gertrude Basunder, recalled by Allison Basunder, Leon Abalon, recalled by Daniel Abalon, Morden Inns, recalled by Stephen Brown Inns. Edith Sanders, recalled by the Congregational Community. Morden Inns, recalled by Richard Inns. Nettie Slavin, recalled by Karen Brody. Dr. Vasily Abraham, recalled by Anita Inns. Did I get that wrong again? No, do Vasil. Thank you, Anita. I knew the moment it came out of my mouth. No, it's should expect better from your rabbi. Dr. Vasil Abraham, recalled by Anita Inns. Erwin Grubb, recalled by Julie Shapiro. Sylvia Giltman Grubgeld, recalled by Stephen Gold. Jason Heller, recalled by Risa Heller. Helen L. Gray, recalled by Bobby Quint. Sharon Heimer, recalled by Stephen Goldberg. Bob Spiewak, recalled by the Congregational Community. Gloria Weinkrantz, recalled by David Weinkrantz. Victor Bloom, recalled by Matthew Bloom. Morris Siegel, recalled by the Congregational Community. Jerome Harris Schaefer, recalled by the Congregational Community. Florence Gordon, recalled by Bob Gordon. Agnes Brinkman, recalled by Karen Brinkman. Leonard Katowitz, recalled by Miriam Katowitz. Sandra Weiner, Weiner. There we go. That's another one where, right, I get every, no, it's not. Sandra Weiner, recalled by Bruce Weiner. Bonnie Messing Pavlakis, recalled by the Congregational Community. And Sydney Marks, recalled by the Congregational Community. Zecher Tzadich Livracha. May their memories be for blessing. We sanctify those names even as we sanctify God's name and pray for the coming of God's realm. The words of the Kaddish Yatom you can find on page 294 or right up on the screen. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
B'yamad Divrach, Hirutei, B'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayei V'yomei B'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael, B'agalau V'zman Kariv Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Ulamei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpar V'yitroman V'yitnasei. V'yithadar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shemei D'kudsha B'reichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlam maraba min shemayim, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace on high cause peace to descend upon us, all Israel, our entire world. And let us all say, Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated, everyone. I really just want to, before I ask our treasurer, Miriam, come on up. I really just want to extend, there have been a lot of losses in the community, it feels to me, in the last week or two, and there's also a lot of yard sites that fall. So I just really want to say that it's good to be together. As I said at the beginning, sometimes it's not that it makes it any easier, but perhaps being together shares the load a little bit. So. Again, condolences and wishes that all of those memories be for our blessings. Hang on, I got to turn you live.
Oh, you gotta make me live, okay.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi and Cantor and Miriam, thank you very much for the lovely service. Jen, thank you for being our usher. And we welcome our new Ilana Ayalon, so we'll have some more support, which will be great. Anybody interested in becoming a trustee, please contact Karen Gordon. She's heading up the search committee. And because Karen doesn't have enough to do, she has gotten her book published on The Last Letter, A Father's Struggle and the Daughter's Quest. She will be doing a presentation on Zoom on February 10th in 2022. It's hard to think that that's really coming our way, from 7 to 8 p.m. More will come from that. And the Israeli Movie Watch will happen on December 17th at 11:15. The Brooklyn Heights Synagogue Book Group is going to meet at the Park Plaza Diner for a belated Hanukkah and poetry reading on, December 14th at 7 p.m. The men's group is coming here on Sunday, December 19th at 10:30 in the library. And Jewish Music 101 is going to happen on Tuesday, December 14th at 7 p.m. And also there is a lifelong learning on Sunday, December 19th from 9 to 10:15 on the Exodus story. That will be Healy Slackman, our rabbinic intern, and Karen Brody. I'm very happy to say that construction, which seems to go on forever, has now continued, of course, but we have 205 families who've committed up to $8.3 million, and that's almost at our goal of $9.5 million. So anybody who has not yet given to the capital campaign, we look forward to your gift. And also, if you've not given to the annual appeal, we also look forward to that gift. And this is a good month to do it, so you get it in this taxable year. Right, Michael? Yes. Yeah. See, the two accountants have to have this conversation. Chavara is tomorrow at 9:30. Rabbi Serge Lipp will be doing it. The coat drive, I believe, is ending today, although you can probably sneak in a coat in the next day or so.
It's actually going to renew. So the coat drive, the regular coat drive is done today, but starting Sunday, there is a highest Afghan refugee coat drive for 1 additional week. So if you didn't get the coats in for the regular coat drive, you can still bring coats in for 1 more week, and it will be going to Afghani refugees here in the States.
Yes. Yes. I was just about to say that. Yeah. So black and brown hair dye in those tones, if you wish to get that. That'll be here starting on Sunday. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Miriam. Our closing song is Adon Olam. You know, the cantor and I often reflect that Adon Olam is a magical piece of liturgical composition, as a piyut, a liturgical poem, because apparently you can sing Adon Olam to any melody. It always, Miriam, am I misspeak? Has this not been your experience after all these years? There's almost anything, any melody, and if it doesn't work to Adon Olam, then it works to either Yigdal or Bim Bam. But I would say that 85% of melodies, certainly Broadway plays, work to. We're not doing Broadway plays tonight, but Adon. Yeah, you can sing anything to Adon Olam.
Well, this is Kingsley. Adon Olam, asher alav v'terem kol yetzer nira, le'et nasa v'charatzo kol azay v'elech shema nira, ve'acharei kiklot hakol, kiklot ado yimloch nora, ve'hu haya, ve'hu hove, ve'hu yeh v'tifara. והוא אחד ואין שני להמשיל ולהכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, בלא העוז והמזרע, והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצורך חבלי ביצרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. Afkid ruchi beiti shan ve'amira ve'im ruchi yeviati Adonai li velo
So we are in the midst of Omicron, and so the reopening task force wanted us to use a little extra caution, which explains why there are various things that are outside of the building as opposed to inside the building. And so we've taken a half step back, and we are not doing Kiddush and Motzi that we've been doing out in the reception room, just at least until we're more confident that it makes sense to still be doing that. So we're going to be making Kiddush and Motzi here on the pulpit without wine or challah shared in the congregation, at least just until we get a better sense of what the consequences with the new variant of taking our masks off and imbibing together. Thank you, Cantor. You can find the text, by the way, in, I think Vayechulu didn't make it up there, but it should have page 4 and 5.
ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי מקום מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מקום מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. חברי חבריי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחיל לנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים עמנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מקיימים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
אמן. לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Amen. B'te'avon, bon appetit, Shabbat shalom. Please return your prayer books. Take a moment to greet people who maybe you just met tonight. And we will look forward next week on the 17th. We're back here in the sanctuary. Just a reminder that the following week, the 24th and then the 31st, will be on Zoom. The building will be closed. There's construction going on in the building over that time period, so it will be remote for those 2 Friday nights. We will be totally remote over that winter break. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Pleasure. You're starting or you're there and you're back. Tell me how that works.
So I did apply to the last year.
Okay.
Yay.